Hi, my name is Mardia, and I'll be doing the final project of doing business in the Americas. So my business case, it's the CEMEX case. This case is happening in Mexico, a developing country situated in North America. The places mentioned in this case are Mexico, Australia, and the UK. I'm gonna start talking about a little about the countries. So the first one is Mexico. It's one of the countries where it's easier to do business in all Latin America. However, there are high crime rates that are a problem for the business environment, the big market of the consumers in the country, and its proximity to the US. Also, those are a good opportunities to investors. The GDP grew by 3.8% in recent years, but it's highly dependent on the USA and Canada, which represents a vulnerability to the economic problems of these countries, and corruption levels and security problems are high and problem for businesses. The competitiveness in business in Mexico has been increasing over the years. In Australia, its economic is stable and strong, and it's a developed, stable, democratic, and competitive country, and also encourage foreign investment. Its economic, it's based in political and economic ties with Europe, UK, North and South America, and Africa. It has a high strength and diverse workforce. Also, the UK, it's one of the largest economies in the Europe, and also it's one of the best to make business. The regulations in the country are strong, and the protection of investors are good characteristics to do business there in the UK. Also have a good transport and infrastructure, and it's attractive to investment. They have implemented different reforms to improve the facility of doing business in the UK, such as increasing the limit of weekly wage to employees, servants' pay and minimum wage, electronic filing properly transfer, reducing the tax rate, companies, and provide items for the preparation of memoranda. Okay, so the problem is the case happened in June 2007. In that year, it became easier to do business around the world, according to a report by the World Bank and the International Finance Corporation. 213 regulation reforms in 112 economies were created to reduce time, cost, and hassle for companies had with legal and administrative requirements. And for the first time in Africa, reached the top three among reforming regions that year. Cemex wanted to globalize the company, became one of the largest suppliers of building materials in the world in 2007. In the case, is discussed the way in which Cemex could globalize and the strategies they followed to make it, and how they managed to succeed in the countries like Australia and the UK. The the very variables or factors to succeed in countries like Australia and the UK were the debts that were acquired by the purchases of companies in other countries that carry out the expansion of the company. They bought the Australia company Rinker Materials Corp. The problem of this were the Rinker clients were the real estate market in the US, and that part of the debt used to finance the operations and had to be refinanced soon. The problems were worse when the US dollar increased its value and also the weakening of its three main markets, USA, Spain, and Mexico. The company had difficulty to generate enough cash to reduce the debt. Then the company tried to reduce the debt selling assets. The Spain division of Cemex agreed to sell its operation to the Canary Islands, but the assets were the company sold in Hungary and Austria were less than analysts expected. So, Cemex, it's a producer, distributor, and marketer of cement and also ready mix concrete. This enterprise operates 24/7 and serves customers on four continents. This is America, Asia, Europe, and Africa. in more than 60 countries, has a relationship with more than 60 nations within economic sector and quick global changes. In 2006, Cemex celebrated its 100th anniversary of its founding, and it's one of the big national monopolies in Mexico. The free trade agreements that benefit Cemex is the transformation from domestic producer to multinational group began with the signing of the GATT in 1985, the NAFTA free trade agreement with Europe and other countries in South America. About clusters, Cemex owns half of the installed cement plants in Mexico, which generate 63% of the national production of cement. It also has one of the biggest clusters of cement in the world, located in Baja California, Norte Mexico. One of the most important features of this cluster is that the largest plant is dedicated of the production of Portland cement, which is intended mainly to cover foreign demand, while another part of the production is intended as input for another cement enterprise as the same cluster. The project that Cemex has is always looking for new projects to support the local economic. Recently penetrate with the Grameen Creative Lab. The first project is going to be about developing own business families. The family business model will focus on housing and basic service during the first year of implementation, seeking to simulate the local economic capacity and development of strengthening the role of women. During 2015, two pilot projects with families in urban and rural areas were made. And innovation, it's important to the culture of Cemex. They continually strive to find better solutions for their customers, so they are always in the process to streamline operations and reduce environment footprint, and therefore they have an excellent career opportunities that offer continuous development and the opportunity to work with talented people on projects that will make a difference in the world. Cemex people, it's very different from each other. The employee approximately has 43,000 people working in over 50 countries worldwide. Diversity and the ability to work and collaborate with virtually anyone in the network are two of the best reasons to work there, and they ensure that everyone, regardless of their geographical location, and the opportunity to contribute and achieve their goals. In the second quarter of 2015, the next income of the controlling scale of Cemex totaled